All right, I think we are live. Let me know if you guys can hear me down in the chat. But yes, we are live, all right? Everyone come in here. But, yo, what up, everybody? It is your boy, Fitzmug TV here, a.k.a. GLauren33. And I am back here tonight with your WWE TLC 2019 review and results. All right, the show got finished about maybe around 45 minutes ago. I'm happy to be here. I hope you guys are as well. We are going to be talking about the final WWE pay-per-view of 2019. And I have a lot to say on this show. It's been a while since we did a pay-per-view review. If you guys remember, I was not able to do a review for Survivor Series because I didn't have access to my channel at the time. But we are back in full swing of things, back here tonight with the TLC review. Just a couple of side notes, all right? A couple of things to talk about before we get into the pod. I want to thank you guys for joining me here on the Legit Shoot podcast for tonight's review. As always, you guys are the best. Thank you guys for all the support. But a couple of things I want to note is I want to first thank Salreax. Salreax, he is the guy who does our pay-per-view layouts. All right. So for the Raw, SmackDown, and tonight with the TLC one, you guys can see he did this. So I want to give credit where credit is due. I want to thank Salreax for his continued support of the channel, providing us with these dope layouts, man. So shout out to Xiao Reacts for that. Quick schedule note, all right? You guys are getting your TLC review. It's going to be a busy week on the channel and here on the Legit Shoot podcast, all right? We did our Raw and SmackDown review like usual this week. It's going to be the same thing this week, all right? We're going to be doing Raw on Monday. We're going to be doing SmackDown on Friday. And I am planning on doing an NXT review sometime this week. All right, because since NXT it's the last NXT show of the year, we know that they're playing on something big. It's basically being built kind of as a mini takeover. We have Finn Balor versus Adam Cole for the NXT Championship, and Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler fighting over the NXT Women's Championship. So it's going to be a huge show. NXT is going to want to end the year with a bang. So definitely, I will be covering that. I just don't know if I'm gonna be covering that that same night after NXT goes off the air, or if I'm gonna do it Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon. I haven't decided how I'm gonna do it yet, but either way, I will get it done. So expect an NXT review sometime this week. Just want to give you guys that little quick note. As always, you guys can follow me down in the description on social media. You guys know I love talking to you guys during the show. I didn't live tweet a lot during tonight's show. I had some things going on, but I did watch the full TLC show. I just didn't really watch the pre-show. But we will discuss it right here on the Legit Shoot podcast. All right, thank you guys. And as always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, enable notifications by clicking the bell next to my name, Fitzmug TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. So WWE TLC 2019, the final WWE pay-per-view for 2019. How did they do? That's the first thing you guys are probably wondering, right? Fitzmug, how did WWE end the year? Did they end it with a bang? Did they disappoint us? Well, here's the answer to your question. How has WWE been all year? I'm talking about from January 1st to December 31st. I would go as far back as into 2018, 2017, even 2016. How was WWE during those years? If your answer is they did great, Fitz, then you shouldn't be watching this podcast. All right? Because you have the mind of a casual. You have the mind of a brain-dead idiot. WWE has been disappointing for over 3 years now. It has the most talent out of any wrestling company in the industry. And yet, they put on disappointing content, disappointing matches, disappointing storylines, disappointing TV for 3 years. Over 3 years, man. Come on. So you guys really thought TLC was going to be a good show? I'm not going to sit here and say it was a bad show. There was definitely some good things. But one trend that I've noticed with WWE, it seems like in the beginning of their shows, the beginning of their pay-per-views, the first hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, they do a decent job. They give you good matches. They invest you. They know how to start the night hot. But as the show goes through the middle and the endings of the show just starts to fall flat. The show declines. They start the show up here, and as the show goes on, it goes down, down, down. Kind of like a cliff. But, you know, TLC was disappointing in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really even have that many expectations coming into TLC. I really didn't, you know, because in my opinion, and I spoke with other people in the community about this. A lot of us believe that TLC shouldn't have even been happening tonight. It shouldn't. They should. All these matches that you saw tonight, most of us believe you should have just done it on a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown. Because what's one of the problems with the product? Monday Night Raw and SmackDown feel unimportant most weeks. And it's one of the reasons why the ratings are so bad these days. If you want to make us care about Raw, if you want your ratings to go up, if you want people to actually tune in to watch the show, make your shows feel important. Put these matches that you booked for your pay-per-view on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. There has been a report, alright? There's been a report, and we'll talk about this more as we go into the week. Monday Night Raw, this doesn't affect SmackDown because SmackDown is live every single Friday, no matter, depending on the city where they are. SmackDown's live on Fox. It's not. There's no way they can pre-tape it. Either SmackDown would be live or they would have to cancel the show. The only time they could ever do a pre-taped SmackDown is something like in the UK, something like that. All right, but anyway. So, but the thing about it is, with Monday Night Raw, we have Monday Night Raw this Monday, right? Tomorrow, the 16th. We have Monday Night Raw next week, which is the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. What Monday Night Raw is planning, all right? What Monday Night Raw is planning is tomorrow, the 16th. The fans, I don't know where they are. I think Minneapolis is where we have Monday Night Raw tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. I don't really care anyway. But the plan that they're going with is, for tomorrow night's Monday Night Raw, they are planning to have their normal show, and then they're going to tape another show after that. So they're going to tape their Christmas show the same day they're recording Raw. So the fans, whoever decides to go to the show tomorrow, they're going to be in basically for nearly a 5-hour show. Basically, they're going to be sitting there for 5 hours. This is going to be long and tiring. So you know that he was going to edit in, you know, those cheers and all the other garbage they do when they do their taped segments, right? But yes, they're planning on doing their normal live show tomorrow, and then they're going to tape another show after that for next week. So WWE Raw superstars have to bring, you know, extra attires, extra stuff, just so they can tape next week's show. So because they're planning to give the Raw superstars Christmas off. This has nothing to do with the SmackDown superstars since their shows are on Friday, and yeah, this is only going to apply to Raw. So I don't know if I'm even going to do a Monday Night Raw review on the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. I might just do a video where we discuss the Monday Night Raw spoilers, but we'll deal with that when we get there. But back to what I was saying. I just wanted to make that little side note so you guys were aware of what's going on, because you guys know I update with you guys everything going on with WWE. But TLC was disappointing. It was disappointing, man. You know, if you look at the matches, some of the matches you had on this show, yes, they were great matches, good matches, stuff like that. But some of the stuff fell flat. Like the women's tag team TLC match. It just fell flat in my opinion. And we'll talk about that when we get later on in the show. I don't know if it's just maybe potential burnout of Becky Lynch, which is I'm probably going to make a separate video on that. I don't know. But I thought personally that the TLC match between Kairi Sane, Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky, I thought that was probably going to be either the best match or the second best match on this show. I don't even think it's in the top 3. The match wasn't terrible, but it just fell flat. It was just boring. It was slow paced. The fans just didn't seem to be into it. I don't know. I think WWE's trying so hard to push these main events for the women, right? You know, we didn't get in WWE Evolution. There was no all-women's WWE pay-per-view this year, all right? But we've been seeing a lot of main event matches with Becky Lynch. And I'm going to be honest with you, has Becky had any good main event pay-per-view matches this year? Her WrestleMania match against Charlotte and Ronda wasn't that good. It was a okay match, but nothing special happened. What about her match the last month at Survivor Series with with Shayna Baszler and Bayley? That match was not good at all. It fell flat. And then you also had tonight with TLC. I almost forgot. What about her match with Lacey Evans? Remember that match at, Extreme Rules? When it was her and Seth going up against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans in the winner-take-all match? Wasn't that in the main event? Let's be honest for a second. Becky Lynch, as great as she is, I don't know, I feel like WWE, they've been putting her in the main event of most of these shows this year. And she really hasn't delivered. She really hasn't. And there was no difference tonight. Tonight, what we saw was disappointing. Disappointing. All right? I think the ending of TLC should have been Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. What we saw during that middle segment was absolutely fantastic. All right? The American Dragon, Daniel Bryan, is back. You know, Daniel Bryan looks like 10 years younger, now that he shaved. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But, I just wanted to go on that quick little rant. Becky and Charlotte teaming up against Kabaki Warriors. I thought it was going to be a good match. I didn't think it should have main evented the show, man. But I just wanted to get that little thing off my chest. I understand that Becky's the face of the company, but, putting her in all these main event pay-per-view matches has not done anything for her. All right? This is just, for me personally, when I look at Becky Lynch's title reign, she's held the title now for nearly 9 months. She hasn't defended the Raw Women's title since she had a Match of the Year candidate with Sasha Banks at Hell in a Cell. And yeah, that's pretty much it. She really hasn't done much with her title reign. Her title reign has been a disappointment. I thought having Asuka and, Kairi Sane would help it a little bit, but this match was disappointing. But we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get there. I just wanted to go on a little bit of a rant. I know I may be confusing you guys a little bit. I'm going left and right with some of my thoughts. But now we're going to go in order. We're going to go through the show. I just had to go on that little mini rant, mini monologue before we got into the actual show. But getting into it, TLC 2019. Let's talk about it. So, kickoff show, Humberto Carrillo versus Andrade Cien Almas. This was basically a rematch of what we saw on Monday Night Raw between these two. They actually had a decent match on Monday Night Raw, but, at the end, there was a little bit of a mix-up between Andrade and Zelina Vega. And, the two had words after the match, and it looked like WWE was potentially teasing, some kind of breakup storyline between Andrade and Zelina. Even though I agree that I believe that they shouldn't. Andrade and Zelina, they're a perfect pairing. There is no reason why they should be broken up. But it seems like that's potentially what WWE could be going for. And they continue that tonight. I knew they were going to do a rematch. I thought they would probably save it for Monday Night Raw. But they decided to do the rematch tonight at TLC. Don't be surprised if we see this match a third time on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Alright? Don't be surprised at all. I didn't watch the match, but what I heard, it was a good match. Just like it was last week. But basically what happened, Andrade carried for most of the match. Humberto did his normal stick, his flips, all that other good stuff. And what happened is Andrade, so if you guys remember last week on Raw, Andrade ran the ropes and he accidentally collided with Zelina. Zelina got knocked off the apron, allowing Humberto to get the rope win. Well, they did that spot again, but this time Andrade stopped before he collided with Zelina. But then he, he got hit with the top rope reverse Rana, or you could just call it a moonsault. But that's the way the move is called. It's usually called a top rope reverse Rana. But, then her brother goes for the pin. He gets the 1, 2, 3. That is that. And basically, after the match, we see Andrade. Once again, he's frustrated. Him and Zelina having words. And this time, Andrade walks out of the ring and leaves Zelina in the ring, with her. Andrade leaves Zelina in the ring. So now they're hinting at more, dysfunction. This is the second straight week now. We see that Zelina and Andrade are not on the same page. We don't know. We don't know what's going on. We know that Zelina Vega, she is, in real life, she's married to Aleister Black. And Andrade, he's engaged to Charlotte Flair. So I don't know if they're just breaking these two up on WWE TV because of that. I have no idea where they're going. Because, I think Zelina could do fine on her own. She would do fine on her own. She could be a babyface. The fans seem to like her. I like Zelina Vega a lot, Maybe they'll team her up with Aleister Black, even though Aleister Black is fine on his own. I don't think he needs, his wife there as a manager or anything like that. But when you look at it, Zelina would be fine on her own. She could be a babyface in the women's division, get another face, get another body in there. Even though WWE's women's division has been absolute garbage for most of 2019. But this would be really bad for Andrade. Andrade, he's not the best at English, let's be honest. He's not the best at English. And one problem that a lot of WWE fans is, and you see with AOP all the time, they hate when they have these superstars speaking in their native tongues. Alright? They want to see English. That's the reason why most of these international superstars have a manager. That's why Sami Zayn is pinned with Shinsuke Nakamura. That's why Zelina Vega is with Andrade. It makes sense. It helps those two. One of the outliers is like Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. But either way, it would be really bad for Andrade if they took Zelina Vega away from him. Because Andrade can't really cut a promo in real good English. He could speak a little bit of English. I'm not saying he knows no English. But what I'm saying is it would be better for Andrade if he had Zelina with him. Let Andrade develop his own language, his own English speaking on his own to the level where then he can cut good promos, because if you break these two apart, how long before Andrade gets paired with somebody else? It would make no sense. Andrade and Zelina work very well together. Even though I think Zelina would be fine on her own, Andrade would suffer without Zelina Vega. So I think it would be very, very unwise for WWE to do this. They could be just doing this as a storyline, and maybe they don't have any real plans to break these two up. But it's going to be something to watch out for over the next couple of weeks, especially going to Monday Night Raw. Getting into the show opened up with a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the New Day versus the Revival. I wasn't really surprised that this to open the show. What I thought they were going to do is they had two TLC matches for this show. The Women's Tag Team title match and Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns. I thought what they would probably do is have one of those matches to start the show, have another TLC match to end the show. No, they went a different direction. They did Corbin and Roman in the middle of the show, and then they did the tag team title match to end the show. But, I'll give WWE credit. One thing that they've done pretty well with most of their shows this year is they give us decent opening matches for these pay-per-views. They've done a really good job of that. They know pretty well how to, start the night off fast, start the night off hot, get the crowd into it, keep the energy going. Because that's the way you want to do. Your opening match is crucial to how a pay-per-view rolls. It sets the foundation. It tells the fans how they believe this pay-per-view is going to go, what's the energy level is going to be, and you want to start off with a bang. Well, this was a great match. And one thing that I'll say is, people really underrate the New Day. Alright, they really do. The New Day have had 7 tag team championship reigns, which may be a little overdoing, but we know that Vince McMahon loves the New Day, and he potentially wants to make the New Day have a resume looked to as one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history. And they are one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history. They're consistently, they put in great work, and I love them. I love the New Day. But a lot of people had problems when the New Day won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. You know, it was pretty obvious to me why they did it. Is because they did it because they wanted to give Kofi like a consolation prize for losing the WWE Championship to Brock Lesnar in 7 seconds. And, you know, they also wanted to do it because Xavier Woods was injured. He tore his ACL. So they wanted, you know, to make fans happy, and they took the towels off the Revival. Plus, it seems that the Revival are in WWE's doghouse because we know the Revival still haven't re-signed with WWE, and I don't expect WWE only gave the Revival the SmackDown Tag Team Championships to try to convince them to sign, and they still haven't. So the way I see it, they're still in WWE's doghouse. Little Fettuccine 69, and as always, guys, make sure to talk in the chat, man. You know, I love seeing you guys go at it in the chat. But you said, how much of a difference will we see in the WWE product once Vince gets ready for the relaunch of the XFL? I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure. We won't know until it happens. You know, I'll tell you what I wish. I wish that Vince McMahon would step away and then just leave the show to Triple H. Alright? Let Triple H run the creative. Let Triple H do what he does in NXT and make these shows feel important. You know, you could see, no matter if it's Raw, SmackDown, or a pay-per-view, you could see that Vince McMahon doesn't know what he's doing. You can tell that these shows are Vince McMahon shows. I can legit see Vince McMahon's influence on almost every segment that we see, almost every match that we see on these shows. It makes me sick. It legitimately makes me sick, and it's not right. It's not right in my opinion. But yeah, that's my thing on that. But I'm hoping when the XFL launch, that Vince takes a very big step away from WWE. Will he ever? Probably not. Probably not until Vince is almost near the grave. Let's be serious here, you know. But in a good world, in an imaginary world, Vince would take a huge step back and Triple H would take over. But I just don't see that happening. We the Pebbles are special. No, all right. And I'm glad they didn't have Kevin Owens on the show because it deepens the storyline with Seth Rollins and AOP. And you know, to be honest, it should be built for Monday Night Raw. Alright? Plus, KO, you know, it would not make a lot of sense because KO got his ass beat. He got his head thrown into a car, curb stomp on concrete. Like, no, there was no way KO was going to be 100% storyline-wise for this match. Back to the New Day. You know, like I said, the New Day are underrated. They have the accolades, but some people don't actually realize how great the New Day are. You know, they put in a lot of good ring work over the years. I can give you so many example of matches. They've had some really great matches. You know, against the Revival, the Bludgeon Brothers, Cesaro and Sheamus, the Usos, American Alpha. The list goes on and on and on. The New Day have had tons of great matches over the years. Tons. You know, we've been so used to seeing the New Day as tag team champions, and sometimes it's just like WWE takes the titles off the New Day, and then they get the titles right back on them 3-4 months later, that you forget how special it is. You know, the New Day are really good in the ring. Kofi Kingston, I think he showed during his WWE Championship reign how great in the ring he actually is. Big E's no slouch. People have been calling for Big E to have a singles run for years. And Xavier Woods, he can wrestle. He can wrestle. Yes, we'll talk about Daniel Bryan in a little bit. We the Pebbles, alright? If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Glad to have you guys in the chat. Back to what I was saying. But people really underrate the New Day, man. They've had some fantastic matches. You know, I don't know if the WWE Network has a playlist of New Day matches, but I'm on the bet you would have 20, 25 great matches from the last 5 years from the New Day. They're really great in the ring. It's just underrated. It's nice like tonight when you actually remember how great the New Day are in the ring. Alright? This was a great ladder match. In my opinion, I would have rather had Ali and Gable in there just because I feel like Ali and Gable, their styles are more meant for this kind of environment, more meant for this kind of match. Doesn't mean the match wasn't great. This was a great way to start off the night. The fans brought back the Kofi movement. If you guys remember earlier in the year when Kofi Kingston was going after the WWE Championship, you remember that Kofi movement? Well, we kind of got that again tonight, and I was happy to see it. You know, The fans were chanting Kofi, 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 and I loved it. I hope you guys did as well. There was a point in this match where near the end where Big E did his normal spot where he like spears someone through the middle rope. I still don't understand how Big E hasn't killed himself yet doing that spot, but I'm glad he's okay. After that, we saw Kofi Kingston. He was on a ladder. He jumped from the top rope onto a ladder, very far away from the tag team championships. Then he gets double teamed by Scott and Dash. Then Big E gets back up, right? Then he gets on the ladder, does the big ending to Scott Dawson, takes Scott and him out, and then we see Dash Wilder on the top of the ladder fighting with Kingston. Kingston's like laid back, kind of like knocked out, and his feet is stuck between the rungs of the ladder. And we see that Dash is just about to grab the tag team championships. He has his hand on it, but out of nowhere, Kofi regains consciousness, and then he grabs the titles, bashes it against Dash Wilder's head. Dash falls off the ladder. Kofi Kingston, the crowd's going wild. Kofi gets up, unclicks the championships, and Kofi and Big E, the New Day, retain their tag team championships. Absolutely fantastic match, and I'm telling you, this is just another reminder of how great the New Day actually are. Some people hate on them. Some people just don't realize how great they actually are, what they do. This is nights. Matches like this remind you of why the New Day are one of the best factions, one of the best tag teams of all time. All right. Who would I like to see John Morrison feud with first when he returns? Well, first of all, it's going to depend on what brand he gets on. He's going to be a babyface, no doubt about that. But also, I need to see, what kind of character he has. I think a good feud for John Morrison to start off would be against Buddy Murphy, which we're about to talk about Buddy Murphy. This is actually a perfect lead-in into the next segment, Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black. I think, when John Morrison comes back, I think if I'm WWE, first of all, I don't think it was smart to have John Morrison's return announced on WWE backstage by that goofball Ryan Satin. All right, please. I don't believe that at all. What I would have done is wait till the Royal Rumble and then have John Morrison do a shock return. I think that's the way they're going to go anyway. You're not going to have Morrison show up on a random Raw or SmackDown. I think what they're going to do is they're going to wait till Royal Rumble, and then that's when we'll see Morrison make his official return back to WWE. All right, I think his first feud should be with somebody like Buddy Murphy. Build up that mid-card. Because Raw's mid-card has so much talent. It's just that the way WWE's booked today is just not great. But one final note on Kofi Kingston and the New Day. I'm telling you, the New Day are great. They're great at what they do. It's just that it's nights like this when you realize how good they actually are. Because they deserve appreciation. What I would do going forward with the New Day, there's other tag teams on SmackDown. The Revival, they lost. The Revival, they're done. They're done. I don't know where contracts expired. Goodbye, good riddance. Go to AEW. Show how great you guys actually are. The Revival are great, but still, in terms of the SmackDown tag team picture, they should be gone. It's time for some other teams to step up. What I would do, I don't know, maybe get the Usos when they come back, but the SmackDown tag team division has a lot of potential. You have Ollie and Gable in there. There was rumors. The rumors said that they were planning to do Bobby Roode and Ziggler against the New Day, but that match got delayed now because Bobby Roode was suspended for 30 days for I think it was violating the wellness policy, but I'm not exactly sure. But what I would do going forward, road to WrestleMania is upon us. This is what I would do. I would build towards somebody taking those titles off the New Day at WrestleMania. My choice would be Heavy Machinery. Alright? I think Heavy Machinery are awesome, and I feel like they should be built to win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania from the New Day. I think you could do at like the Royal Rumble, you do Ollie and Gable if you want. I'm not sure what's the next pay-per-view after this. I think it's Elimination Chamber. If you want, you can do, the New Day then against Roode and Ziggler or some other team. And then at WrestleMania, you have them drop those titles to Heavy Machinery, giving Heavy Machinery a big WrestleMania moment. And then, making them look like stars, the tag team of the future. All right, and maybe if the Usos come back, you get the Usos in the mix. I don't know, but that's the way I would personally book the New Day going forward as the tag team championships. But as I said, we just talked about Buddy Murphy and how I believe Buddy Murphy's next feud should be with like a returning John Morrison. This was a great match. Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy. This was absolutely fantastic. Alright, this was fantastic. These two had been practicing with each other at house shows. I love this. You had Buddy Murphy in the ring. He was imitating Aleister Black's pose when he does the crisscross applesauce, when he does sits with his legs forward in the ring. We're not talking about Bobby Trashley right now, little fettuccine. We'll talk about him a little bit later. I don't want to remember that. But and then you had Aleister Black come out. He makes his great entrance, and then he does the same thing. That was a really good visual. Having Murphy and Aleister Black sitting there, folded in the ring like that. I really enjoyed that personally. But back to what we were talking about. This was a fantastic match. All right, and I'm hoping, I pray that WWE's backstage team opens their freaking eyes. All right, they need to open up their freaking eyes and realize how great these two are. They mentioned it on commentary. These two are two potential future superstars, the faces of the future for Monday Night Raw. They are. The future should be now. Yes, Junior, this is live. You're a little bit late, bro. We've been live for about over 30 minutes. Anyway, but this was a great match. I've been saying it for weeks. Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy has the potential to be match of the night at TLC. This probably was match of the night. Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt get the best moment of the night, but best match of the night easily has to go to these two teams, man. Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black. This was great. Jay King Lawler, he noticed it early in the match. Aleister Black actually broke his nose. I think it was from one of those kicks from Buddy Murphy. He broke his nose. And, I'm not a wrestler, but I have to guess it has to be extremely difficult to breathe and, do what you have to do under those situations. It's one thing to break your nose in a normal real-life situation. Imagine doing that while in a wrestling match. And you can't stop the match. You have to continue that. All right? Thank you, Junior. Just trying to improve and get better every day. Thanks for the improvement, bro. Thanks for the support. But back to what we were saying. We're talking about this match. This was a fantastic match. Even with Aleister Black's broken nose. And Jerry King Lawler kept talking about it on commentary. These two were fucking going at it, bro. Kick after kick. Jumping knee strike. Punches, elbows, everything. They brought everything out for this match, and this is fantastic. And Vince McMahon and the people, Kevin Dunn, all the, if you don't realize the talent you have with these two superstars after what we saw tonight, then why the hell are you in the position that you're in? These two have future champions written all over them. Honestly, I could get behind an Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy tag team. I feel like that could be a great thing. The Raw tag team division needs teams. I feel like Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black could be a great tag team if you wanted to pair these two together. These two are the future. Aleister Black, in my opinion, has WWE champion written all over. If I'm looking, because Brock Lesnar's going to come back, and we're hearing all these damn reports of how he's going to face Tyson Fury or Brock Lesnar or Cain Velasquez again, hell no. Enough with the part-timers, enough with the martial artists, enough with the MMA stars, enough with the people that don't belong in WWE. Build someone inside your own damn company to go up against Brock Lesnar. You have two guys right here. Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. I put Aleister Black a little bit above Buddy Murphy, but still, this guy, Aleister Black, sat backstage all year not being used. Doing the same damn promo every single week. Oh, I just want a fight with somebody. I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And now in the last month, you finally start using Buddy Murphy. You start using Aleister Black. I will say one thing also. I appreciate this, but this has everything to do with AEW. Did anybody notice during this match? Did anybody notice how they kept talking about how Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, how both these men are undefeated on Monday Night Raw? Did anybody notice that tonight? I did, and the first thing that came to my mind is AEW. Because AEW, every single week, they have their rankings. They do it on their social media. They do it during those matches. Alright? And Junior, bro, you're going to come into the stream and talk to me about that? You know, I'm sauce all the way. I don't hate Bailey or anything, but I'm sauce all the way. You know this is a pro Salsa Bakes channel. Alright? Don't start with that nonsense, alright? If you want to be a Bailey fan, that's all you. I'm fine with that. You know, but I'm always going to be a pro Salsa Bakes fan. I don't know why you're always flipping sides, but it is what it is. I'm not going to really hold that against you. But back to what we were talking about. You know, these two are future champions on Monday Night Raw. And in 2020, WWE needs to push these two to the moon. Aleister Black should be in the main event scene, going up against the likes of Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. You know, I don't understand. WWE, you know, I hope after tonight, they probably won't, but I pray that after tonight they realize the talent they have in these two men. This match was absolutely fantastic. Fantastic, and I loved every part of it. At the end, you know, there was a part where you had Murphy, had Aleister Black, and think about this, Black had a broken nose early in this match. He has blood going everywhere. Aleister Black was on the top rope. You know, and Buddy Murphy just starts hitting him with kick after kick after kick after kick. Man, and it was brutal. It was real kicks. You could hear them all over the arena and watching on your TV through your audio systems. And then these two are going at it, throwing knee strikes, dodging each other's move, and out of nowhere, Aleister Black hits the Black Mass. 1, 2, 3. Absolutely fantastic. Great match. You know, now we need to start building for the Royal Rumble. These two, Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, I'm not saying they should be favorites, but they should be booked highly to be near the end of the Men's Royal Rumble. These are two future world champions, in my opinion, if WWE books them correctly. I don't trust them at all, but especially Aleister Black. This guy has world champion written all over him. Enough is enough. Tonight should have showed you, without a shadow of a doubt, how great these two are, and that they deserve to be in the main event scene, along with the likes of the Lesnars, the Rollins, the Kevin Owens, the McIntyres, the Styles, the Mysterios, the Ortons, the etc., the etc., the etc. I don't care what anybody else says. Alright? Stop it. The proof is right there. This was probably the best match on the show. Stop it. Alright, hello Niga, welcome to the channel, alright, thank you for the subscription. If you guys are new, like I always say, if you guys are new to the channel, alright, anybody in the stream, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys just subscribe. I really support it. I really appreciate it. So after this, we had the Raw Tag Team Championship Open Challenge, the Viking Raiders versus the OC. We kind of knew this was coming. You know, we had on Monday Night Raw, we had the Viking Raiders go up against the Street Profits in an open challenge match. And like I said on Monday Night Raw, on the Raw review, and Lil Fettuccine, who do I think will win the Royal Rumble? I think for the female side, it will be either Sasha Banks or Shayna Baszler. For the men's side, I think it will be either Kevin Owens or Roman Reigns. Alright, that's just my thing right now. But on the Monday Night Raw review, I talked about, and I kind of ranted on it, the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders. That has a 2-3 month tag team title feud written all over it. That's the chance to be one of the best tag team matches you see all year on WWE TV. But instead, they decided to job the Street Profits out in 3 minutes, which made no sense to me. Why couldn't you save this match for TLC tonight? Why? You could have gave this a 15-minute match. This could have been a nice 15-minute match on tonight's show, showcasing how great these two teams are. All right, but Niga, I don't know what's the problem. This is my stream. I can say whatever comes to my mind. You know, I don't know. Does that bother you? Yeah, I don't know. Are you talking about Kid Rants? I have no idea what's going on. But you guys just discussed that in the chat. Anyway, Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders. That should be a 15 to 20 minute match on this show. But instead, you decided to job the Street Profits on Monday Night Raw and then decide to give us the OC versus the Viking Raiders. I'm not saying the Viking Raiders versus the OC is not a match that can be great. I'm just saying I just don't care about it. Why couldn't we have gone in the Street Profits? Why couldn't the roles have been reversed? Why couldn't we have gotten the OC on Monday in the Open Challenge and gotten the Street Profits tonight in a 15-20 minute match showcasing both teams? Why? The crowd was hot for the Viking Raiders. The second they said Open Challenge, I knew it was going to be the OC. I knew it was. Anyway, and also during this match they were talking about this KFC sponsor table. I don't know. It was mad cringe. But these two went at it. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't terrible. It's just I didn't really care about it. But you know, the OC and the Viking Raiders, they're falling up. They're fighting on the outside of the ring. They're fighting into the stands, and the referees made a count. The match ended in disqualification, double count out. So this most likely means we'll probably get this match again, either on Raw or on another pay-per-view. Maybe the Royal Rumble. We'll have to wait and see. But after the bell, we see the OC grabbing the KFC sponsor table and setting it up. The Viking Raiders fight them off, and then they hit a powerbomb. They give a powerbomb to Anderson, driving him through the KFC sponsored table. And we see the Viking Raiders. They stand tall. They hold their titles. This feud's gonna continue either on Monday on Raw or this at another pay per view. A rumored match we were supposed to get for TLC. They said AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. That was a rumored match for the show, but I think they should save that for a Monday Night Raw. AJ Styles and Randy Orton had a very good match at WrestleMania earlier this year when Orton was the heel and Styles was still a babyface. Now the roles are reversed. Orton's now the babyface and Styles is the heel. I think you should wait and do that match on the last Raw of the year. Make it feel important, guys. Make it feel important. Okay, next up we had a TLC match. Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. This was one of the highly advertised matches of the night. This match was highly overbooked. Highly overbooked. Alright? I'm not saying the match was bad. I didn't care about the match going in. But I watched it, I covered it because I covered WWE on my channel. And I told you guys the last couple weeks that I just didn't care about this match. I didn't care about this feud at all. But going into it, this was a decent match for what it was. During the end, it got freaking wonky. I don't know what the hell they were doing at the end of the show. I don't know what the hell they were doing at the end of this match. Alright? But, it wasn't bad up to then. First of all, Baron Corbin comes out with his chair and he has his security. But as Roman Reigns is making his entrance, you have the security lined up. I understand there's no disqualification, but it looks just retarded and stupid that you have a wall security for a TLC match. Another thing that I found, that didn't make sense to me is you had it where, first, usually in a TLC match, there's a purpose. These two have been feuding for 2 months, and I still have no idea what the hell they're feuding over. I have no idea what they're fighting for. Still have no clue. But you had this match tonight, and usually in a TLC match, whatever they're fighting for, no matter if it's a briefcase or a weapon or a championship, it hangs on above the ring. Usually it hangs above the ring. Well, we didn't get that tonight. Alright? It was just or if you win the match, you pin your opponent. That's what you have to win by pinfall. Alright. So you tell me, basically, a TLC match where you have to win by pinfall, not by grabbing, climbing a ladder and grabbing something, right? Why didn't you just make this match a no holds barred? What's the difference between no holds barred and TLC? Honestly, I don't get it. What? That you can lose tables, ladders, and chairs? Stuff that you usually use in a no holds barred match? I just felt like they were just, insulting our intelligence. Really. Instead of having this called a TLC match, you should have just called it a normal no holds barred match, in my opinion. Alright? What up, Boss Fan? Alright? Boss Fan's one of the more loyal subscribers on the channel. Alright? Love you. Thank you, Boss Fan. I'm glad. Miss you too, man. Glad to have you back in the chat. Boss Fan, Sleeping Angels, Junior, Joe, there's those Little Fettuccine. Those are some of the more notable subscribers. Some of the most loyal subscribers here on Fitzmonk TV. Glad to see you guys in the chat. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. This wasn't a bad match. It's just the way it started stupid. You had the security guards running up to Roman, getting beat down, thrown through tables, thrown off the stage, looked like a bunch of idiots. But then the match went on. Corbin hit, the deep six. He chokeslammed Roman through tables for near falls, stuff like that. Roman did his normal stick. He threw Corbin into a chair, then hit him with a Superman punch for a close two. And then there was a point in the match where Corbin was about to put Roman through the announce table on the outside. Roman reversed it and did a Samoan drop through the Spanish announce table. Rest in peace, the Spanish announce table, like usually. Oh yeah, I forgot about Paddle Pot. I wish he was here tonight, but yes, I always forget. It's like a gimmick on these pay-per-view. I always forget to call you Jessica. Anyway, Roman hits the Samoan drop. These two are fighting back inside the ring. Out of nowhere, we see Dolph Ziggler. Alright? I don't care about Dolph Ziggler because WWE doesn't care about Dolph Ziggler. But we see Dolph Ziggler. He gets involved. And basically, he's attacking Roman. We see Corbin hit Roman with a dog food can. So it seems like they were going to do a repeat of what they did with the dog food angle a couple weeks ago. But Roman got rid of that by hitting Corbin with a drive-by. Then the security tried to get involved again. This was like 10-on-1 for Roman. He's dealing with Ziggler. He's dealing with Corbin. He's dealing with the security. Yeah, they're really trying to make Roman look like a real-life superhero. Trying to make him look like Superman. Like, jeez, man. Oh, my goodness. But yet, he's hitting the security with kendo sticks. Michael Cole saying cringe lines like teeing off like it's the Minnesota Twins. Please. Then the Revival came out. The Revival who had just lost. About an hour ago to Kofi Kingston and the New Day. You would think that they would be backstage recovering from their ladder match. No. I agree with you, Black Panther. Paddle Pot! There you are! You didn't say anything in the chat, bro. I didn't know. Paddle Pot, it's great to see you, bro. Alright, glad that you're here. I didn't know you were here. Man, you've been quiet. Have you been? I don't know if you were here the entire pod so far, but either way, glad to hear you. Glad to see that your presence is here in the Fitzmonk TV family. All right, thank you, Paddlepot. Anyway, but like I said, the Revival, who had just had a SmackDown Tag Team title match just about an hour before, they decide to show up. Alright, so now you have security, now you have the Revival, now you have Baron Corbin and Ziggler all out there against Roman. And Roman's still fighting all these people off. My goodness. Then he did that, his OMG moment where he runs the ropes and jumps over the top rope, taking everybody out. Then he gets Corbin back in the ring, he sets Corbin up for the spear, but then Ziggler comes out and blasted Roman Reigns in the head with a chair shot. Then after that, Ziggler hits Roman with a zigzag. Then the Revival hit him with a shatter machine. And to finish the match off, Baron Corbin hits him with the end of days. And that's how the match ends. So, basically, I don't care that Baron Corbin won. There'll be fools that said, ooh, they're making Baron Corbin look important on the road to Mania. Ooh, Baron Corbin's now a star because he beat Roman Reigns. I don't care. I don't care. You know why I don't care? How many freaking people did it take to beat Roman Reigns? It took what? 10? What was it? 10 on 1? How many security guards were there? There's like 4. Alright? Paddleboy, you skipped your class to watch the stream? I appreciate that. That's real dedication. Even though you could have just watched the stream after class, because you know the review does get uploaded right after, you know, the stream finishes. But I appreciate it, man. But anyway, you know, like I was complaining about, it took 10 men. You had Dolph Ziggler, Roman Reigns, the Revival, which makes 4, right? And how many security guards? Well, and there was at least 4 or 5 security guards, which is 9. Nearly 10 people it took to defeat Roman Reigns. I don't care what anybody freaking says. Alright? I don't care what no one says. I don't care if Baron Corbin won. It should not take that many people to beat Roman Reigns. It shouldn't. Alright? It shouldn't. So spare me the bullcrap. Spare me the nonsense that Baron Corbin made himself a star because he defeated Roman Reigns. Nah, when you do it by yourself clean, maybe then I'll be ready to admit that. Don't give me the bullcrap when it took you 10 people to defeat Roman Reigns in a TLC match, in a no disqualification match where you got to use weapons. Get out of here with that. Thank you, Sleeping Angel, man. Good to see you, bro. But get out of here with that nonsense. I don't want to hear that at all. Screw that. And the thing about it is, this wasn't the end of it. Because throughout the rest of the pay-per-view, Roman Reigns and others were attacking Baron Corbin and his gang. There was a huge brawl backstage. You know, the Street Profits were doing their normal cheerleading gag, which I still hate that WWE keeps making them do that. As great as, you know, the Street Profits are, I hate that that's the position WWE has them in. But the Street Profits were doing their normal stick. Then they got attacked. They got caught up in the attack with Corbin and Ziggler and the security guards. And then at the end of the night, the show goes off the air with Roman hitting Corbin and the rest of the gang with like he's like taking out the, what's it called, the guardrails in the crowd. He takes out one of the guardrails and hits Corbin with it. Like, oh yes, Roman lost, but we still have to make Roman strong. I don't understand it. You know, this feud's clearly continuing for whatever reason. I don't give a damn about it. You guys shouldn't give a damn about it either. This was legit stupid. It was stupid. Now the feud should have ended tonight. Alright, I would have much rather have had Roman win tonight and have the feud die. But you know, Vince McMahon, with his stupid ass, is like, oh man, I love what they're doing. Let's do it again. Let's do it again going into the Royal Rumble build. Instead of focusing on the Royal Rumble, they're going to continue this garbage ass feud. Oh my, it makes me sick to my stomach. It really does. But I just had to go on that mini rant, another rant there. Like legit, it's not even that, you know, that Baron Corbin won. Yes, I'm mad that it took him 10 people to beat Roman, but I'm more mad that they're continuing this garbage. So I have to get more big dog segments, more dog food? Really? Really? Get out of here with that nonsense, please. Anyway, moving on to outside of Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, this was the best part of the show. Best part of the show, we had Bray Wyatt versus The Miz. Alright? At first, I thought this was a non-title match. Alright? That's the way it was advertised. It was never advertised to me that the Universal title was actually on the line. You know? But this whole match was booked around, you know, Bray Wyatt, normal Bray Wyatt, Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt going up against The Miz. Because the way they had told the story is The Fiend was dealing with Daniel Bryan and normal Bray Wyatt would be going up against The Miz. They did this the last 2 weeks. Even though this match I only had 2 weeks build, they did a decent job. You know, I love the angle they did on SmackDown, having like Bray Wyatt look like the babysitter to Miz's kid. You know, having like the puppets and everything appear in Miz's kid's room. You know, I found that entertaining. But this was great. This was great. Miz comes out and he's all serious. Miz did a backstage segment how this was like the most important fight of his career. So I like the intensity Miz is bringing. You know, I'm not a big fan of Miz as a babyface, but in this instance, I love what he was doing. I really did like what he was doing here. You know, he's fighting for his family. He's fighting for his kids. I really like that. I really do. So what do? They go into this. Bray Wyatt comes out, and I love this. They had the Firefly Funhouse music. Bray Wyatt comes out as Mr. Rogers. He comes out with his blue championship belt. Remember that The Fiend has like his own custom title. Normal Bray Wyatt has his blue Universal title belt. And they have the Firefly Funhouse music playing, and Bray Wyatt's coming down to the ring, and he's all happy like he's in the Firefly Funhouse. You know, the crowd is absolutely loving it. They're cheering him. They're doing everything. I'm appreciating it. I loved it. This was great. This was great. So Bray Wyatt, his entrance was long. All right, he took a lot of time. He went around the ring a couple times. He was interacting with some of the fans, like, "Oh, thank you." You know, he took a very long time to get into the ring. He finally gets into the ring. He kisses his Universal title. So then that was when I realized, I guess this is for the Universal title. Even though they weren't really talking about that on commentary. But this was for the Universal title. So the match starts, and Bray Wyatt, you know, at the beginning, he starts the match wearing his sweater, which was hilarious. He starts the match with his sweater, and then Miz comes out on fire, hitting him with lefts, rights, kicks. You know, Miz is not playing around. He's like, "You want to mess with my family? You're going to deal with me as a man." I love the intensity Miz was bringing into this fight. Then we see Bray trying to calm Miz down, like, "Miz, stop, man. I'm not trying to fight you. You know, I'm just trying to play. I'm just trying to have a little fun." You know, but Miz is not having it. Miz actually hit Bray Wyatt with, I'm not sure if it was 1 or 2, but he hit Miz with a skull crushing. Miz hit Bray Wyatt with the skull crushing finale, but didn't go for the pin. It's like Miz wanted to either do more, or Miz knew that one skull crushing finale was not going to be enough. Because he had known, we've seen Bray Wyatt's matches in the past. You know, it takes way more than one finisher to even get him to kick out at 2. Right? You just one finisher and he'll kick out right away like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. But, you know, I love the way they were doing the pacing of this match. I was waiting for Daniel Bryan to appear. Because I talked about this on the pod, on the Raw, on the SmackDown review. You know, I knew this was the way I was going. I was just looking at a text, my bad. But, you know, I was just, you know, thinking about it. And, you know, I was like, when is Daniel Bryan going to appear? When is Daniel Bryan going to appear? He's going to have to appear eventually, right? When is Daniel Bryan going to appear? This should have been your main event tonight. It really shouldn't. It really should. The tag team title match, the TLC match between the Kubaki Warriors and Becky and Charlotte should have either opened the show or been in the smack middle of the show. Alright? I would say it should have been in the middle of the show, probably because of how great the New Day and Revival match was. And this match should have taken place at the end. You know, one thing I would say also is it was so good. It felt so good not to see a match with that damn red lighting. Alright? I'm looking at your text, Paddle Pot, and I really appreciate that message, bro. I really do appreciate that. But, and also, Paddle Pot, tell your friends at college, man. Tell them about the podcast. Tell them what we're doing over here and get them in here as well. Let's get some more people in these feuds. Anyway, let's get more people in these streams. Anyway, you look at what they did tonight, right? This should have been the main event. And I'll say that for one reason. There was no red lighting! How about that, guys? There was no red lighting. A Bray Wyatt match without the red lighting. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Praise the Lord. No red lighting. Do you know how great it was to see a Bray Wyatt match without that damn red lighting? Like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But, back to what we were saying. This was great. Miz is beating the hell out of Bray Wyatt and Bray's just laughing. There was a point where Miz dislocated Bray Wyatt's shoulder. He legit did it. And then we saw Wyatt roll out to the outside of the ring. And he just popped it back in and he's laughing. He was laughing as Miz dislocated his shoulder. And then just popped it back in naturally like it's nothing. I would know because I've had a bad shoulder. I've dislocated my shoulder, multiple times in the past. In volleyball and other things. So it's a painful thing. The pop, it's very painful. Those first couple moments when you first dislocated and then, using that strength to pop it back in, it takes time. It takes a couple seconds. And, you feel sore for the next couple days. Like, for the fact that Bray Wyatt was able to stay in character and not let that affect him, props to Bray Wyatt. But you can see, Bray Wyatt was dipping in and dipping out of personality. We see Miz fighting on the outside. Michael Cole's scared, like, get him away from me, man. I don't want him near me. Oh, really? That's why. Oh, that makes sense. Paddlepot and Jessica, you guys are roommates. I appreciate that. Wow, that's great, actually. Wow, I like that. We gotta get more people now into the streams. But I appreciate that, bro. Back to what we were saying. We had Bray Wyatt and Miz fighting on the outside. Michael Cole's like, get him away from me, man. Get him away from me. I want nothing to do with him. And Bray Wyatt's dipping in and dipping out of his personality. At one second he's happy, another second he's like, the expression changes. It's like he's dipping into that Fiend personality. And Miz tried to throw him to the barricade, but Bray Wyatt reversed it. And he throws Miz over the barricade. And as Miz comes out of the barricade, as he's trying to get back over, Wyatt has a sadistic look on his face. And then he hits the Miz with a Sister Abigail on the outside of the ring. And, Paddlepot, you're making me laugh, bro. But then, Bray throws Miz back inside the ring, hits him with another Sister Abigail. And while this Bray has like a sorry look on his face, like, I'm sorry, Miz, I have to do this. Alright, I'm ending the misery here. He hits the Miz with a... well, I don't know, sleeping... I don't think Jessica's in the chat right now because she's not speaking, so you might be good for now. I won't say anything. But Bray hits the Miz with a Sister Abigail, and he gets the victory. 1, 2, 3. Alright? And Bray's celebrating, the crowd's cheering, everyone's like, alright, it's over. It's over. This is the part where it gets even better. The match was good. Miz's intensity was great. Bray Wyatt dipping in and out of personality was great. But it gets even better. After the match, we see Bray celebrating. He has his title, and then the effects start. The arena turns into like the Fiend's about. We see the lighting, not the lighting, but we see like the lights start going off and the effects. It's basically everything that happens when the Fiend appears. But instead, we see a man in a red hoodie appear. And we all knew right away who it was. It's Daniel Bryan. Alright? A clean-shaven Daniel Bryan. The beard is gone. The hair is gone. Everything's gone. And Daniel Bryan looked like a new man. Daniel Bryan legit looked 10 to 15 years younger. Like, Daniel Bryan looked like 2010 Daniel Bryan. When Bryan first made his debut on the main roster with the Nexus, and then he went against the Nexus. Well, actually, no, the Nexus betrayed Daniel Bryan, threw him out of the Nexus, and then Daniel Bryan and John Cena beat the Nexus at SummerSlam in 2010. If you guys remember, if you guys remember that. But we get into this part. I absolutely love it. Daniel Bryan looks so young. It's weird. It's very weird to see Daniel Bryan, clean shaven, because I'm so used to him with the beard. I would have much rather had this Daniel Bryan get the haircut and keep the beard, but he's fully clean shaven. It's going to be interesting. One thing that I'm going to be looking forward to is I'm going to see how long it takes Bryan to regrow his hair and that beard, if he chooses to do that throughout the next year in 2020. I'm going to be looking to see how fast does that beard grow, you know. But Daniel Bryan, he goes on the attack. He's the yes movement, his fist be back. He's doing the yes chants. He hits Bray with the running knee, and you know he's just beating the hell out of Bray Wyatt. Wyatt, you know, gets away by he does the light. The lights turn off and then he disappears. But Daniel Bryan is celebrating, doing the yes chants. You know, it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with this, because the reason we know this is confirmed. The reason Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt wasn't done for TLC tonight was because it was Daniel Bryan's call. All right, it was his call. He went to WWE backstage and he said, "I don't want to rush this. Let's save it for the Royal Rumble." All right, you can do the Miz for now, but I don't want to rush this story. All right, if we did at TLC, the story would go too fast and it would feel less important. They're going to do the rematch at Royal Rumble. It's going to be very interesting to see where they go from here, because we have 6 weeks. 6 weeks to the Royal Rumble. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they go with this story. They have a lot of direction to go, but I like this. I really do. But, this was fantastic. This should have ended the show. I don't understand why it didn't end the show. Having, the Bray Wyatt and the Miz match with Bray just dipping in or out of character. And then having the match end the way it did. And having Daniel Bryan celebrating. Clean shaven. American Red Dragon Daniel Bryan back to end the show. That would have been perfect. A perfect way to end it. The way the show ended tonight, with the way that tag team title match ended. And then Roman and the Baron Corbin brawl, that was felt so weak. Such a flat way to end the decade and your final pay-per-view of the year. I hated that, man. I really did. They should have done this to end the show, and I don't understand why. I really don't. But either way, this was great. This was the best part of the show outside of Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, and I can't wait to see where they go on the road to the Royal Rumble. Tables match, Rusev versus Bobby Lashley. This was supposed to be the blowout match after all the garbage that we've seen over the last couple months between Rusev and Bobby Lashley. The divorce with Lana, the makeout sessions, all of that. The garbage we've been forced to see. We thought it would end tonight. I clearly don't think this feud is ending based on the match we got. I didn't really care. Rusev and Lashley, they did try. They did try to go out there and put on a good match. It's just, I don't care. I just don't care. I was hoping Rusev would get the victory, because I want to see Rusev succeed. I think Rusev could become one of the top babyfaces on Raw if he had better direction. But, man, oh man, was this bad. Really, I just didn't care. There were sloppy points to this, and basically, just because of how bad the storyline has been up to this point, it just made my care in the match just not be there. There were some sloppy points here and there, but the match was okay for what it was. But Lashley put Rusev through a table by hitting him with a overhead suplex through a table that was in the corner. Lana and Lashley celebrate in the ring. I don't think this feud is over. We've heard rumors that Vince McMahon absolutely loves this feud. Oh, what up? What's your name? Lises? I don't know how to say your name. Is that Ice Swallow? Ice Swallow. Oh, I see what your thing says. I'm not going to repeat that, but okay, I see what your name is. But if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the stream, thank you, bro. I appreciate the subscription. All right, I really do appreciate it. But anyway, this feud's not over, because it's going to end, or I would think it would end with Rusev getting, his payback, Rusev getting his revenge on Lashley and Lana, but it seems like they're going to continue this. All right, we've heard rumors that Vince loves this storyline, which I don't understand why. It's garbage. but this shows how out of touch Vince actually is. This thing was garbage, but it's probably going to continue, so we're going to have more trash segments in the next couple weeks. I won't be surprised on the road to the Royal Rumble if we have a Bobby Lashley and Lana married wedding. When was the last time you guys saw a wedding on WWE TV? I think we're probably going to get that. Watch, because they've been teasing it. Lashley said, last Monday on Raw that he was going to marry Lana after this divorce and all this crap was over with. So, Lashley and Lana won tonight. So how they going to celebrate? Why not get married on Monday Night Raw and have Rusev crash the ceremony? That would make the most sense, right? Since they're going to continue this feud. I don't want to see it. It's garbage, but whatever, right? Whatever. This is another example of Vince being out of touch. Garbage. And like I said, the show started off so great. You had that fantastic match with the New Day and the Revival. You had a fantastic, even better match with Murphy and Aleister Black. And then from there, the show just went, woo, decline, fell off a cliff. Alright? And that's just me being totally honest. This show fell off a cliff. Really did. After the Aleister Black match. Getting into our main event, so we can get out of here. We had a TLC match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. This was long. And like I said, if you guys were here at the beginning of the podcast when I ranted about Becky Lynch, this is just another example of Becky Lynch's title reign being a pure disappointment. Alright? Pure disappointment. There's been a lot of complaints in the last couple of weeks about the women's division and it revolving too much around the 4 horsewomen. I would say more just revolving around Charlotte and Becky. Really. Sasha's always been a top guy in the women's division. And in my opinion, like I always say here, every single podcast, Sasha Banks is the best female wrestler in the world. And to me, she's the best female wrestler of all time. Even though she's never been booked that way. It's not always Sasha. Really? How many title reigns has she had over 30 days? Alright? Well, even though Sasha versus Bayley, that needs to be the SmackDown Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. Sasha needs to win the Royal Rumble. Alright? Because Sasha versus Bayley at Mania, match of the year. I'm calling it. That would be match of the year. Nothing else would be better than that. What up, Jessica? Welcome back. But this is another example of Becky Lynch's title reign being disappointment. Outside, like I said at the beginning of the show. Oh, excuse me, guys. Ooh. When you've been talking for over an hour. Your body. But anyway, outside of what Becky did with Sasha, her title reign's been a disappointment. Natalya, Lacey Evans, the Survivor Series match, and this match have been disappointments. Pure disappointments. How many main event of pay-per-views has Becky Lynch been in all year? Like I said, the Ronda, Becky, and Shawn match was a disappointment. The Survivor Series match with Shayna and Bayley should have been better, but it was a disappointment. This match was a disappointment. And I don't understand why. I really don't. Alright? I really don't. I love Becky. I really do. And I hate that I have to get on her, but her reign has been a disappointment. Sasha should have took the title off her at Hell in a Cell or Clash of Champions. And she's now the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion, but she really hasn't done anything during her reign outside of her match with Sasha. She hasn't defended the title in over 2 months. And she talked about getting payback on Asuka, and I'm happy. I'm happy that Asuka and Kairi Sane won. I had Becky and Charlotte winning just because WWE wants to make Charlotte a Grand Slam champion, and they just want to make another Becky 2-belt shirt because Becky sells a lot of merch. WWE wants to do that, but I'm happy that they went the right direction and gave Asuka and Kairi Sane the win. But this match was a disappointment. It was very slow. It was very sloppy. Look at what New Day and the Revival did at the beginning of the show. Alright? Look how fast-paced that was and how entertaining that was. Why couldn't this match be put at the beginning of the show? Why? The crowd felt dead, really. I don't know if I was hearing correctly, but I think they were booing Becky and Charlotte at a couple points in this match. Really. Alright? But like I was really disappointed with this match. I thought this match was gonna be really good, especially if you guys remember last year, just a year ago at TLC 2018. Becky, Charlotte, and Asuka had a great match, a great triple threat TLC match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I thought just based off of that, this match was gonna be good, but I don't know. It was disappointment. You know, I don't know if Kairi Sane was injured. She looked to step off. Asuka was fine, you know, but Charlotte and Becky, especially Becky, man, I don't know. The intensity just didn't feel there for me. You know, there was points where there was some creative stuff. We saw like the Kubaki Warriors. They tied Becky to a ladder with a what was it? With the I think it was like one of the ring ropes. So that was a pretty cool thing. And Becky was there for a good part of the match. There was a part where Asuka powerbombed Charlotte to a table. There was also a part where Becky hit a leg drop off the top of the rope through Asuka to a table. You know, so the spots were there. There was good spots in this match. But in terms of the match itself, it just found lackluster and disappointing. I don't know. The pace was just slow and sloppy, man, for me. But, you know, this match just felt disappointing. I'm glad they didn't get the victory to Lynch, even though there was multiple chances where I thought, oh, here we go, Becky 2 belts, here we go again. To be honest, I kind of feel like Becky as a Raw Women's Champion, it doesn't feel it to me. I don't know. I like Becky, I really do. She's nowhere close to the level of Sasha Banks, but still, I like Becky. I don't know. Part of it's WWE's fault for not giving Becky the competition that she needed outside of Sasha and Shayna Baszler. But still, man, they could do better. They could honestly do better. You know, I don't know where they go from here. I won't be surprised if they do a rematch because I feel like this is not over. I feel like this is not over. I hope it is. But I feel like we're going to see this match again sometime. And then we'll eventually see Charlotte and Becky win. But I hope they don't. I really don't. Becky needs to get back to focusing on the Raw Women's Championship. Becky doesn't need the Women's Tag Team titles. She doesn't. Same thing goes for Charlotte. Charlotte doesn't need the Tag Team titles. Corey Graves going on his After the Bell podcast talking about, oh, I want my queen back. Screw your queen! Screw your queen! Who cares? Who cares? Charlotte has had 10 title reigns. Take a break. Take a break. Alright, Liv Morgan is coming back. Use Sarah Logan. You have other people in your division. Use them. Get some new challenges for Becky. Becky needs to get back to focusing on the Raw Women's Championship. The Raw Women's Championship has just been a prop on her shoulder the last 2 months since she defended against Sasha. Alright? Please, Becky needs to stop focusing on Women's Tag Team titles and focus on making the Raw Women's Championship look important again. Lil Fettuccine, I agree with you. I would not mind seeing Zelina Vega get into the women's division. Zelina Vega can actually wrestle. Focus on that. You're complaining so much about the 4 horsewomen, right? When the problem is more Charlotte than anybody. Becky a little bit, but it's more Charlotte than anybody. Honestly, you go into the Royal Rumble, find Becky a credible opponent. I don't want to see, I swear, I don't want to see. They did this the last couple years. If you guys remember, they had like, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. They had not Ouster, they had, what was it? Yeah, 2 years ago, they had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. Pot, please, we're not going to talk about this Sasha injuring Paige. Do not get me mad. Do not get me mad at this point, bro. Alright? We're pretty deep into the podcast. But, we had, what was it? I think the stream is lagging a little bit. Alright? Let me try to fix that. But, either way, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. But we talk about... sorry. I forgot what I was trying to say. 2 years ago, at the Royal Rumble, we had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. Charlotte was the SmackDown Women's Champion. Alexa Bliss was the Raw Women's Champion. During the Royal Rumble, instead of defending their titles during that show, they didn't have to defend their titles. They sat back and watched the entire Women's Royal Rumble from the outside of the ring. I don't want to see that at this year's Royal Rumble. Becky and Bayley have to defend their titles. I don't care if it's Bayley versus Lacey or Becky. Hopefully they actually get her a credible opponent. Alright? But you need to put the focus back on your women's titles. You really do. Becky has gone over 2 months without defending that title and nobody's talking about it. Really? Like, it makes me sick to my stomach. It really does. Really. The focus needs to be on the Raw Women's title. Stop focusing on the tag team titles, Becky, and focus on making the Raw Women's title important again. Alright? I don't get it. I really don't. My goodness. But anyway, and Dana Brooke's not winning the Royal Rumble. Get out with that nonsense. But after this, Becky was climbing the ladder, right? Becky was climbing the ladder and Paddle Pop, man, now you're getting the chat heated. Like, what are you doing, bro? But Becky was climbing the ladder. You know, it looked like she had won the match. But then Asuka, she tied the rope to the ladder, which was pretty damn smart, actually, and pretty creative. So she's on the outside of the ring, making Becky think that she's down and out. She takes that middle rope, pulls it. Becky falls off the ladder. Nowhere in sight. Asuka's by herself. She grabs the titles. Asuka and Kairi Sane win. But instead of making Asuka and Kairi Sane look important in that moment, what does WWE do? What do? They decide to go and do the exact opposite. They decide to put the focus immediately, like 10 seconds after Becky loses, 10 seconds after Asuka and Kairi Sane win, they pan over to the crowd, into the crowd area, and you see Roman fighting Baron Corbin and the security goons. And then he takes like one of the guardrails and smacks Corbin and the rest with it. Yeah, way to make Asuka and Kairi Sane look important. Way to make your women's tag team championships look important. Honestly, it looks so bad. It really did. They should have not done that at all. It made the women's tag team title match look unimportant. Because instead of making the focus on Asuka and Kairi, who had just won their match, you just pan over to Roman. Because it has to be about Roman. You have to end your final pay-per-view of the decade of 2019 about Roman. That's my problem with this damn company. WWE TLC 2019 was a disappointment. It was. Alright? And I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. It started off right here, and after Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, it fell off a cliff. That's just me being honest. And you guys know that's what I do best. I spit the facts, and I tell you guys the honest truth. That's why you guys should be subscribed to the Legit Shoot podcast. Alright? But other than that, that's about all I got for you guys today. WWE TLC, if I had to rate it out of 10, I'm giving it a 5.6. Because it started off great, but the show fell off as the show, after that Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy classic. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. Alright? But with the end of WWE TLC, now we start looking towards 2020. A new year. And now we're focused on the road to the Royal Rumble, which we'll be talking about a lot. Alright, we got 6 weeks left to go. Can WWE start 2020 with a good build? With a good start on the road to WrestleMania? I doubt it, but we'll have to wait and see. I will be covering that all week. I want to thank you guys for joining me here tonight. We went almost an hour and a half. I want to thank everybody that came down in the stream. I love seeing the chat being active as we're talking about WWE. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for coming to the stream. Make sure if you guys are new to this channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, enable notifications by clicking the bell right next to my name, Fitzmon TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. As always, make sure to follow me down on social media, Twitter at GLauren33, Instagram at TheRealGLauren, Snapchat at GLauren33. All that information is down below. I will be back here tomorrow night with a Monday Night Raw review like usual. I'll most likely have an NXT review on Wednesday or Thursday, and SmackDown on Fridays like usual. Thank you guys for the love and support once again. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, enable notifications by clicking the bell right next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. Thank you guys once again. Thank you to Sal Reacts for always providing us with these wicked awesome layouts, alright? As always, guys, have a great night. I'll see you guys later. Peace!